Welcome to our radio show, My Life in Tea. The purpose of this show is to be another expression of love, because why not? And to be a show that sounds good to the ears and feels good to the heart. We are doing this by bringing you short stories from anonymous people of a moment in their life with tea. May these stories add to the joy and ease in your life. This show is brought to you by InHeritage Herbs, an organization focused on providing products and services that amplify the good in your life. Visit www.herbsarelove.com to learn more. And this show is produced and published by 8C Junction Publishing House, an organization dedicated to the preservation and evolution of the goodness of indigenous cultures. Visit www.thehcjunction.com to learn more. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and enjoy this episode.
Thanks for inviting me to the My Life and Tea podcast. My tea story involves a beautiful herb called marshmallow. I had a cold right around this time in January 2024. I really hadn't been feeling well. I had a dry cough and my throat was hurting so much. So I chose mullein, which is a herb that's good for the lung, and particularly when you have a hard time bringing up, cold on your lung, you would use mullein. And I added marshmallow because marshmallow is a herb that it's so beautiful. It's very softening and it helps when you have a sore throat. It helps to soften both inside and outside on your skin. So this time I mixed mullein with marshmallow and I mixed it with some peppermint. It's such a delicious tea. And I steeped it and I had it just before I went to bed. Well, I had a dream that marshmallow was in it. In this dream, a lot was going on. So it was easy to have missed the most crucial point about what happened with the marshmallow in the dream. So I wasn't in the United States. I was where I grew up in Central America. So me and a woman who I can't identify. I don't know to this day. She doesn't resemble anybody that I grew up with in Belize, or that's part of my immediate family that I can recall. So, but we were together. And it was in a house, in a space that resembled the house that I grew up in Belize. The dream featured sort of the back of the house. It was by the kitchen and where the dining room would have been in the house that I grew up in. So in the dream, in my recollection, we went to get money for the lady that was with me. Apparently, a woman in the house that I grew up had taken the lady's marshmallow, and so we were supposed to be retrieving it from the house. So I looked down on the kitchen counter and there was a huge stack of marshmallow, but the marshmallow turned into money. So marshmallow, if you'll know it, marshmallow is white. Right? And so it's like a white root, or it can be a white powder. And I'm right in front of my eyes that turned from white to green, and stacks of it. So I took some with me, and the lady that I was with was still quarreling about the money that was apparently taken from her. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you quarreling? Because the money's right here and we can go. So I took up some stacks of the money, I think I took up maybe about 3 to 4 of them. And I said, come on, we've got it, so we can leave. So it was a bit hard to get her to focus on the fact that we were retrieving what she was supposed to get. And I stood in the backyard watching her talk with the woman on the back porch. And I turned my head, I looked back, and the woman had turned into a black dog. I was stunned in this dream. Like, why would that happen? Anyway, I turned my head again, and then I turned it back to look at her, and she had changed back into a woman. And she walked towards me, and we decided that we would go to a restaurant down the street. And then we named the restaurant, and then I wake up from the dream. No, I was sitting there trying to figure out, how could I possibly have had a dream about marshmallow turning into money? So it wasn't until I went to school, and there's a friend of mine who's my colleague, and we were talking about the dream, and I mentioned to her that the woman had turned into a dog. And suddenly she looked at me and she said, oh, I have been dreaming of dogs. And we're looking up what type of dog it was. And as we're trying to do that, something clicked in my mind. And I was like, oh, dog star. Dog star. Now, I had been studying astrology, and the dog star is Sirius, is the planet Sirius. And it was at that moment that I realized that in astrology, in my astrology chart, I have a connection to the Sirius constellation. And I thought to myself, wow, I may have met somebody who was from there. Now I know that this is an unbelievable, fantastic sounding dream. Now I know that this is an astounding, fantastic sounding dream. But for me, I think that it was beautiful because sometimes you have to go back home. And I had to do the research. I did a little research on marshmallow to find out what is its magical properties. And one of its magical properties, besides being absolutely beautiful and softening to the body, both outside and inside, and very good in terms of soothing the digestive tract and helping with colds and helping with sore throat, its magical quality is psychic, right? Psychic powers. Its Latin name Althea officinalis, and it is known to be a good spirit puller. According to one of the books by Cunningham, who talks about the magical properties of herbs, it brings good spirits in during rituals when placed on an altar. And so I think the way I interpret it, even it as a fantastic story, it also was something that was able to return me to home. And perhaps I don't have answers at this point, but at least for me, taking me back home to what may have been lost. And so I wanted to share these fantastic stories with you because herbs are such beautiful plants with their own lives and their own magical properties that can really transform your life. And so to shorten the story, and to get to the point of it in terms of the beauty in it healing me, it healed my sore throat. And anytime I have sore throat, I'm able to use marshmallow. But also it's fantastic in that it was able to magically return me home. I had one more dream about marshmallow, and that dream about marshmallow was I was apparently in the dream working on a formula between marshmallow and horehound. And horehound is another dream now. It's another plant. that is very helpful for when you have colds. Of course, that's another tea story, but I just wanted to end to tell you that marshmallow was one of the only herbs so far that I've had a beautiful dream and a beautiful relationship with. And I hope that you will try marshmallow, but beware, you may have a dream and you too might meet your family from the galactic stars. Enjoy. Bye.
Thank you, listener, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this story on My Life in Tea. We hope there is a smile on your beautiful face. Let us know if you or someone you know would like to share their story on the show, or if you want to send in your story and we can read it. And if you are looking for tea to enjoy, be sure to visit InHeritage Herbs, which has thoughtfully formulated teas for you to enjoy or to give to a loved one. Visit www.herbsareloved.com to shop.